So in Karma Yoga, there are 4 principles. What are the 4 principles? Number 1, Kartavya Nirvahanam. Kartavya Nirvahanam. What is Kartavya Nirvahanam? Performance of your duty. This is point number 1. Point number 2, Samyak Acharanam. Samyak Acharanam means doing it as best as you can. This is point number 2. Point number 3, Ishvara Arpana Buddhihi. Performing all your actions as a worship of the Lord. Point number 4, Ishvara Prasada Buddhihi. When the results come, because when you perform action, definitely the results will come. When the result will come, what should be your attitude? Accept the results as prasada from God. These are the 4 principles of Karma Yoga. So what is the first one? Kartavya Nirvahanam. What kind of actions we must perform? Do your duties. That's all what is needed. Don't try to, improve the whole world and all. Not necessary. All of us, we have limited abilities. With that limited abilities, God has given limited responsibilities, limited duties. In that limited range, perform your duty. That is enough. That is enough. A housewife, she has to take care of the husband, take care of children. That is enough. This duty thing, we will again come back in detail. So number 1, perform your duties. Karma Yoga principle number 1. Principle number 2, Samyak Acharanam. Do it as best as you can. You don't have to compare yourself with others. There may be very many people who may be able to do it better than you. Don't worry. Are you doing your best? Then fine. That's all what is needed. Then God is pleased with you. Kartavya Nirvahanam, Samyak Acharanam. The third one, Ishvara Arpana Buddhihi. Ishvara Arpana Buddhihi. Now in this Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, there are 6 factors. So when you are performing action, with what attitude you must perform action? Number 1, there should be Shraddha in Bhagavan. Shraddha means what? Faith. First of all, the faith that there is Bhagavan. Very many don't have even that also. There is a Supreme Lord. He is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvajna Bhagavan. He is there. That Shraddha must be there. This is number 1. Number 2, Bhakti must be there. Bhakti means love for God. Point number 2, Bhakti. Point number 3, Vinamrata. Vinamrata means humility. Why humility? Nothing belongs to me. I am nothing, I know nothing. Humility. Number 4, Kritajnata. Kritajnata means gratitude. Why gratitude? Bhagavan, whatever I have has come from you, so I am grateful to you. Kritajnata. How many over? 4. Fifth one, Tyaga Buddhihi. What is Tyaga Buddhihi? Whatever actions I do, it must be beneficial for everyone, not only me. That is called as Tyaga Buddhi. Normally what is the attitude? I don't care about others. It benefits me, that's it, over. Karmas are of 3 types. One is Tamasic. Tamasic means what? I harm others in order to benefit myself. That is Tamasic, worst. Second is Rajasic. I don't care about others. I care about myself. I may not be harming others, but I am selfish. That is Rajasic. What is Sattvic action? Not only that others, everybody is benefited. Not only I am benefited, others are also benefited. Now there is a Tyaga there. This again is the meaning of Yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Sacrificing what? Sacrificing the individual for the welfare of the total. This is the meaning of Yajna. I sacrifice myself for the welfare of the total. I sacrifice, what you call, Vyashti is sacrificed for the welfare of Samashti. That's the meaning of Yajna actually. So there is a Tyaga Buddhi. Like for example, a mother in the family, she sacrifices everything for the welfare of the family, and that is why the family is intact. That love, bondage, etc. is so strong because there is one person who is giving everything for the welfare of all. That is his Yajna, Tyaga Buddhi. This is number 5th. What is the first one? Shraddha. Second one? Bhakti. Third one? Vinamrata. Fourth one? Kritajnata. Fifth one? Tyaga Buddhi. Sixth one? Sharanagati. What is Sharanagati? Surrender. What is surrender? Surrender means there is something which I like, but if I find that God doesn't like it, I should not do. Understood? I may like something, but if that doesn't please Bhagavan, I should not do it. This is real surrender. I may not like something, but Bhagavan likes it. Then what should I do? I must do it. Whether I like it or not, that is not the criteria. Bhagavan loves it, then I will do it. Now the question is, how will I know whether Bhagavan likes it or not? You will know it. The moment when you do something wrong, which is against the wish and will of the Lord, what happens inside? There is a conscience prick. That conscience prick is the voice of God. It's a very, very sacred voice. It's a divine voice, and more you listen to that voice, the more and more you become a good child listening to that voice and obeying it, then more and more clearly you will hear that voice. The more and more you ignore that, gone, you are finished. So this voice of conscience is a very sacred voice. Actually, it is the voice of the Lord Himself. Purer the mind, clearer the voice of conscience. Never do anything against it. Because if you obey that voice, everything will be wonderful with you. Success will just follow your footsteps because you have the grace and blessings of the Lord. Listening to the voice of conscience is the sure method to invoke the grace and blessings of the Lord. The moment you disregard that voice, you are doomed to destruction. So this is Sharanagati. What is Sharanagati? Listens to this voice. Is Bhagavan's blessing there? Will Bhagavan be pleased if I do this? If yes, then go ahead. If no, then don't do it. But then suppose you are not able to listen to that voice, then in the beginning this problem will be there. So what you have to do is, people who are already advanced in the path of spirituality, some Mahatma, some saintly person, some great man, great soul, you ask, and whatever that person say, do it. Then that is Sharanagati. But slowly as the mind becomes purer and purer, your own pure mind will clearly show you what is right, what is wrong. So these 6 aspects we must always keep in mind. This is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. So what all things are there? There is faith in God, there is faith in the goodness of God, there is faith in the omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence of God, there is faith, Shraddha is there. There is bhakti, there is love for God. Then there is humility, vinamrata. There is kritajnata, there is gratitude. Then there is tyaga buddhi. Whatever you are doing for the welfare of everyone. And 6th one, you are doing it to please the Lord, Sharanagati. When all these factors are taken into account, then we say there is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. You perform that action as a worship of the Lord. Kartavya Nirvahanam, Samyak Acharanam, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. The 4th one is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Now, once you have performed the action, results will start coming from the world. What should be your attitude? Prasad. No complaining, no grumbling. Why? I am getting what I deserve. Because Bhagavan is omniscient, all-knowing. His knowledge is infinite. So whatever He gives, it will be the best thing, it is the right thing. Whatever God gives me, it is the best thing for me, whether I accept it or not, whether I know it or not. He will give only the best thing, He will give only the right thing. That which I deserve, He gives. Now what is the proof that the prasada buddhi is perfect in me? The proof is when you get the result, your mind is at peace. What is the proof that prasada buddhi is not there? You will find that somewhere deep within, hey, this shouldn't have happened. I should have got more. That kind of complaining, that kind of grumbling, that kind of agitation is a sure sign. Sure sign of what? Sure sign that prasada buddhi is not there. To the extent prasada buddhi is there, to that extent mind is at peace. To the extent prasada buddhi is not there, mind will be disturbed. So this is karma yoga.